I'm gonna come out the gate and say it right away. This was the best episode of Power since Omari been gone, since James St. Patrick died, since Ghost been gone. This is the best episode of Power. In this video, we're talking about Power Season 3, Episode 5, No More Second Chances, and we dive right into spoilers. So if you're new, leave a like, come back to this video after you watch the episode. We're about to get right into it. And once again, this episode did not disappoint. So usually I start these videos off with the biggest and best moment, I think, from the episode, the biggest spoiler and reveal, but so much happened this episode that I don't even know where to start. So I'll start by importance of character. So Tariq, the main character, we're going to start with him and what happened. So Lauren finally found out Jenny was lying to her. We'll talk about that when we get to the law enforcement section, but she found out Jenny was lying. So she went to confront Tariq to see if he actually had something to do with her murder, or her attempt murder at least. And she finally revealed to him that Braden and Effie almost killed her. And now that that's finally out, Tariq is looking at Effie way different, which is crazy because this whole episode we saw Tariq and Effie looking like they were in love. He was talking about leaving the game for her, how they're gonna find a way out of this, all of this. They were talking about their first dates, their future dates, etc. And now with this information, he went back to his room after Lauren told him, and she said, "I love you," and he was just looking at her like, "Oh, I can't trust you, bitch. I can't trust you." And this is crazy because Effie was about to tell him in episode 4, I believe, and Kane even told her to tell him what happened, but she said she couldn't go through with it. And then she almost told him at the end of this episode as well, after he met with Lauren, but she still didn't reveal it. And now at this point she's just lying to him, and he knows about it, and I can't wait for the next episode already. It's also interesting because now that Lauren knows Jenny is lying to her, she did tell Tariq that she's the witness against him and she's working with the feds. They're building a case against him. So she gave him access to that information as well. But I'm interested to know if Jenny is lying to her and she now knows, is she gonna continue to work with her and build the case, not against Tariq because she believes Tariq has nothing to do with it, but is she gonna do everything in her power to take down Effie? Because we've seen in the prior episode, she kept pointing the finger at Effie, said Effie was the one who tried to kill her. She wasn't really looking to implicate Tariq in this, and I'm wondering if she's going to continue to be under Jenny's thumb, even though Sax told her this is illegal, she doesn't have to be held against her will, and that Tariq absolutely had nothing to do with this. So now I'm expecting in episode 6 we're gonna see him confront Braden. We already seen in the trailer of them brawling, them fighting at the office, and I'm pretty sure Tariq's gonna lose that internship, get fired, but we already saw that fight. I'm expecting that confrontation to happen at least really in the next episode, and also within the next 2 episodes I'm expecting him to confront Effie about what happened. We saw that in the trailers as well, her pulling out the gun, the flashbacks of her pushing the car, etc. So I can't wait to see those 2 scenes. This season, it has been building slowly, but this fucking episode literally just took off and everything is fully in motion, nothing left behind. But let's move on to the next part. Next day in this episode, so Monet finally found out it was Lorenzo who killed Z, and she was moving around this whole episode trying to get someone to take out Lorenzo, and he finally decided to come clean with her, but it was too late. She already got one of the Costello boys, the Frank's son, to do the hit on Lorenzo after they broke up. And which is crazy because she planned a family game night and everything. So Drew, Monet, Kane, and Diana were all at home planning, waiting for Lorenzo to come back, playing spades, and she knew the whole time that he wasn't coming, he wasn't gonna make it. She set him up to get killed. And I already told you guys in the prior videos, I'm telling you guys, like and subscribe, you're gonna get all the information from me first. I told you guys in the prior videos, based off the trailer, that Lorenzo was dying this season because we saw a funeral scene, and in the first episode Zeke didn't have a funeral. So when I saw that scene and I saw Kane Kane and Drew holding the casket. Kane was wearing Lorenzo's Jesus piece. We also saw the connect that they were talking to in the first episode in Mecca's house. They were sitting at the table together. We see him at the back holding the casket as well. So I knew Lorenzo's end was coming this season, and it finally happened in this episode. So this is also might spark a war, which Frank's wife, who Monet initially went to try to get her to take out Lorenzo, and she wasn't going for it. She said she doesn't want the revenge. She doesn't want the war on her kids' hands. So Monet went behind her back and got her son to do it. This is going to spark a war if they find out, because Kane and Drew already took out the Costello's other connect so that they could become the connect. They had Tariq and Braden do it, so they took out their connect. And now if they find out that he took out their father, Lorenzo, and he's already sleeping with Drew, they've been sleeping together the last 2 episodes. So if they find that out, literally it's gonna spark a fucking war between groups, and they already got enough problems with Noma, and we're about to get into her. But if it's one thing we learned these last 2 episodes, is Monet gets what the fuck she wants. At the end of the last episode, she got Whitman out of here, got them problems off her back. At the end of this episode, she got Zeke's killer, got Lorenzo off her back. Didn't matter if it was her kid's father, nothing. Nah, she felt like he was a problem. She got rid of him. And I also predicted way in January, February, before the season even started, that his death will be the complete split of the Tejada family. He already told Diana that all she's going to focus on is school, move on. She doesn't have to worry about the drugs, family, etc. So that was already on her mind. If she finds out Monet has something to do with her father's death, she was probably the closest to him. Yeah, she's definitely never going to fuck with Monet again. Their relationship has always been rocky since the first season of Power Book Ghost. Then Kane knew that Lorenzo was the one who killed Zeke. So if Monet finds out that Kane knew that and didn't tell her as well, he lied about it with Lorenzo. If she took Lorenzo out, she would definitely take Kane out. And Drew, Lorenzo wanted him to be the successor, to take over the business, to run everything. I think now with Lorenzo being gone, Drew will be more cold-hearted and more ready to step in that role. And that's where the tensions will rise between him and the Costello brother that he's sleeping with. He will start to notice the changes in Drew, and Drew might be the one to find out that he killed Lorenzo. So that's where the war will be started, in my opinion. That's my prediction, at least. Moving on now to law enforcement, because we had some big things in play with them. So first thing we're going to knock out is Blanca Rodriguez. She was a DEA agent, and the dude who took a picture of Braden, Lorenzo, and all the Tejadas come and sell the guns to them. He was a criminal informant, a CI. He didn't survive. He died. So she went to collect his phone that showed the pictures of Braden and Lorenzo on it that would have implicated the Tejada family and showed their connection to Braden and everyone else. So when she went to pick up the phone, Drew and the Costello guy he's been sleeping with, they were already there and overheard he died and all the information on his phone. So they played the nurse at the front desk for his phone and items, destroyed all the information, all the evidence. So Braden and Lorenzo are pretty much in the clear. It really doesn't matter. Lorenzo's dead, but at least they can't tie their drug organization, the weapons they sold, they can't tie that back to everyone else. Next thing that happened is Sax followed Jenny to Lauren's house, to her hideout where she's been keeping her, and he find out that Lauren is alive. So I wonder if he's gonna tell Davis and tell Tariq, because he told Jenny he's done with her. She's been lying to him. She betrayed him, let him believe Lauren was alive. So I wonder if he's gonna keep that information to himself or really be back on the Davis and Tariq side of things. And also he told Lauren that he fully believes Tariq had nothing to do with her murder, or her attempt murder, as I should say, because he saw his face when he told him he was in love with her, etc. So he got Jenny, and he split up the relationship between Jenny and Lauren even more than it already was. They're even more confused, and he's completely done with helping Jenny and Blanca take down everyone else, which is crazy because he just went through Davis's things and saw he had Detective Whitman's folders from his house, so he could have implicated that Davis was working with the Tejadas to take down Detective Whitman. He was about to give Jenny that information, but Jenny said, I can't come to you right now. We can't talk right now. So he decided to follow her, and she led him to Lauren. And what's crazy is Jenny is turning into the overzealous district attorney, hard out trying to get the drug dealers, the crime, all the characters we like and love. She's turning into the overzealous type. And that used to be Sax, that used to be Blanca, that was Whitman a few episodes. But she's completely losing it, that she's lying to everybody, even the people who are helping her. And like I said earlier in the video, I wonder if Lauren is going to continue to be a witness just to spite Effie for what Effie tried to do, or is she gonna choose to side and believe Tariq, go home, show she's alive, and change her whole story because Sax already told her that it was illegal what Jenny did. So now we have a lot of big plays and movement with the law enforcement as well. Blanca's whole evidence and case has completely fallen apart with the missing phone and missing evidence. Jenny has lost all her allies, well, mainly Sax and potentially Lauren for her case, and she's completely losing it. We saw that in the scene where they were all drinking together, and she could have been drunk and just out her body, but yeah, she was completely losing it in this episode. So we had a lot going on in this episode, from Tariq finding out Lauren's alive, to finding out Effie and Brigham had something to do with it, to Monet finding out Lorenzo killed Z, getting rid of Lorenzo, and now with all this information with law enforcement. And we didn't even get to my favorite part, to be honest, which is Noma. Let's jump into Noma. Now, I talked about in one of my review episodes, but I literally deleted it because I didn't want to feel like I was complaining too much. But I was talking about how Noma, they introduced her in the first episode as menacing, fierce, and just powerful, all being woman. But we didn't see her again for episodes 2 through 4. So I'm like, they overrated and overhyped her. She popped up out of nowhere this episode in Milan while Tariq and them was on a trip with RSJ. So she popped up in Milan to get Tariq to go on a mission to collect a recorder that Mecca planted on one of her enemies. So the fact she even got this information of what they were doing, where they were going, where they were at, who they were with, all that information at once, it brought back that feeling of how menacing and strong villain she is. Also, Tariq came up with the plan because Braden got kidnapped when they were trying to capture the recorder that Mecca planted. They found Braden snooping around, and the people kidnapped him and was asking him who he worked for. So Tariq, him and Effie found the recorder. They made a plan with Noma to surround her enemies and take them all out at once, which she succeeded at. And Tariq, Effie, and Braden thought they all were gonna get shot, but she showed that she had snipers up on the mountains ready to save them if she didn't get there in time and take the shot. So she has so much force and power and just so much movement going on at once, and I like how they drop it like just as small parts. They don't they don't tell us, they show it like, oh, like she really is that bitch. She really is. And that's exciting because I missed her presence in episodes 2 through 4, and I'm hoping they show her even more now that we got this side of her as well. And that's it. Overall, this has been the most eventful, most fun, most energizing, most exciting episode, most to look forward to for the future in any episode since Ghost died. And I'm not saying that statement blindly or anything. This episode felt like it could have been a season finale. We know how the last season finale ended with Zeke's death, with Lauren and that whole thing going down. We saw how those season finales ended. And now this episode in the middle of the season, episode 5, felt like a season finale. Now, I don't know if this was a mid-season finale and they're going on a break. I hope not, because I'm way too excited. But if so, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out more content on my page. We do a lot of power. We do a lot of TV shows, popular shows, teen dramas, crime dramas, whatever you guys like. So like I said, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.